My fellow Nigerians, as your future president, I want to react today to the October 26, 2024 Confederation of African Football (CAF) disciplinary board verdict in the recent matter involving Nigeria and Libya. As per the verdict, CAF awarded Nigeria all 3 points, meaning a win, in our forfeited AFCON 2025 qualifier that was scheduled for October 15 in Benghazi, Libya. CAF also fined Libya $50,000 for their actions. The verdict came after a CAF disciplinary investigation prompted by Libyan authorities' very dumb decision to divert our team's flight to the Al-Abrak airport about 300 kilometers and 2 hours from Benghazi, where they had been scheduled to land, and forced the pilot to make an evening landing, despite that airport's lack of essential navigational equipment for landings at that time, and despite the pilot's repeated complaints about the fuel risks of flying so far away from the approved flight plan. As if that was not foolish and shameful enough, our Nigerian delegation, which consisted of 22 players, federation officials, and some journalists, was effectively detained or abandoned for nearly 20 hours without security, food, water, or a place to sleep. So yes, CAF's disciplinary action was absolutely well deserved. In fact, some have said that such a disgraceful, if not evil, behavior by the Libyan officials should have attracted harsher sanctions from CAF. I couldn't agree more. However, I also agree that the Nigeria Football Federation and the Nigeria Immigration Service should improve their protocols for welcoming visiting teams into Nigeria. There have been reports of our immigration officials previously creating unnecessary inconveniences for some visiting teams. This is wrong. For example, although it's not quite clear why the Libyans didn't fly directly to Uyo when they arrived for the first leg of the qualifier, they shouldn't have suffered any unpleasant treatment after landing in Port Harcourt, as they said they did. They also complained about the bad road conditions between Port Harcourt and Uyo. Well, while it seems that their road trip was to save costs, if they had properly, communicated their movement plans ahead of time, I am very sure that our officials would have made it very clear to them, if not insisted, that was a very bad idea. So yes, we must improve on such protocols in the future. Beyond football and sports, this incident ultimately became a diplomatic crisis. Libya should be thankful that we have an incompetent bulletin in office right now. While the intervention by our Foreign Minister Yusuf Tugar eventually ended the detention of our delegation, Libya clearly felt no real diplomatic pressure to do so much sooner. If I was in office at the time, I would have made sure Libya felt adequate diplomatic pressure once it became quite clear that our national team's flight had been diverted away from the approved flight plan for purely political reasons. Indeed, the Tunisian pilot said he informed the Libyan authorities at least 8 times that it was risky to fly to the Al-Abrak airport without sufficient fuel. Our national football team, and any other team for that matter, or delegation representing us, should be confident that their government will always pull any diplomatic strings necessary to guarantee their safety. That said, I sympathize with the Libyan players. I'm sure they wanted to play the match. Sadly, they were caught up in the middle of a political and diplomatic crisis caused solely by their leaders. In fact, Mu'tasim al-Musrati, a Libyan midfielder who resigned from their national team earlier this month, cited some administrative problems affecting the national team's performance. And yes, it doesn't help that Libya currently has 2 governments. But well, that's Libya's problem. Meanwhile, I am sure our Super Eagles, being the professionals that they are, will put that traumatic experience behind them and seal their qualification for the AFCON 2025 during the November international break. May God bless the Super Eagles, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.